when you don't like what you are doing, you obviously want to change and do something differently, right? Recently read the recent survey that was shared, amongst the NHS, where they talk about the fact that the healthcare professionals are beginning to experience an high low mood emotions, right, around their work, around their profession. They are no longer motivated. They are working just to keep up with bills. They are working just to ensure that they're able to provide food on the table. The world we live in no longer exists, because the one we live right now is the one where technology is literally being a part of every single sector, including the healthcare system. Now, I want to leave people in the profession no longer because they enjoy it, but because they endure. So because they're enduring it, so that they can just survive, right? And I thought that, okay, well, best can we even start off addressing this? The first thing is, I want to tell you that it is not just about your healthcare certification any longer. It is not just about the RM, the BNSC that you're carrying. It is now more around what other soft skills, hard skills do I have, do I need, that I bring to the market space, that I bring into the healthcare sector. Welcome to my YouTube channel, North Elevate, where I share insights for people within the healthcare professionals that want to grow, that want to build a legacy and a sustainable path in their career as an healthcare professional, especially for nurses. So today I want to talk about the thriving nursing opportunities that we as nurses need to begin to position ourselves for. I recently read the recent survey that was shared, amongst the NHS, where they talk about the fact that the healthcare professionals are beginning to experience an high low mood emotions, right, around their work, around their profession. They are no longer motivated. They are working just to keep up with bills. They are working just to ensure that they're able to provide food on the table. And just by listening and watching that, it makes me realize that truly people are in the profession no longer because they enjoy it, but because they endure. So because they are enduring it, so that they can just survive, right? And I thought that, okay, well, best can we even start off addressing this? The first thing is, when you don't like what you are doing, you obviously want to change and do something differently, right? So this is why I'm making this video, to help you gain understanding on what are the other things I can do outside of a bedside nurse, outside of working as a bedside nurse, outside of working within the four walls of the nursing profession, right, or the four walls of hospital. And what I can tell you vividly is that the world we live in no longer exists, because the one we live right now is the one where technology is literally being a part of every single sector, including the healthcare system. Now, I want to tell you that it is not just about your healthcare certification any longer. It is not just about, the RM, the BNSC that you're carrying. It is now more around what other soft skills, hard skills do I have, do I need, that I bring to the market space, that I bring into the healthcare sector, because we are moving from the analog way of treating, of looking after patients, to the digital way of how we can use technology to enable care. Especially since COVID, you can attest to it that since the moment COVID hit and there was a total lockdown universally, the world began to think and rethink their ways of approaching the healthcare system, from moving from just making sure that every single one has to come to the hospital, to saying, okay, how can we segregate some people to be able to be seen virtually? And that is why, as a nurse, you can't just stay behind and not evolve with the way the world is going and changing in the healthcare system. Now, a few healthcare courses, or will I just say healthcare specialty, that you can start thinking of how you can position yourself, what certification you want to acquire within that space to be able to help you to see and be seen for such person that would be valuable or would be credible for that particular job. Now, I'll start off with myself. I literally had to enroll into the master's program for digital health. I have another friend who currently also a nurse, but she's doing a master's in digital transformation. I have some of them that has done a postgrad, in health informatics. I have some of them that I've done in data science. Now, these courses are powerful and needed in today's world, and I will tell you why. So some of the specialty that we are seeing coming to life in this recent age and time that can really allot you a good life balance are, number one, health informatics officer. Oh my goodness, this particular specialty is one that is going to thrive and keep thriving even in years to come, and I will share more light on it, whether on today's video or another time. Number two, you want to think about virtual nurses or virtual healthcare professionals. This is already thriving in the Western world, where we have virtual wards. So we have virtual lead nurse, we have virtual matron, we have virtual nurses, we have even virtual healthcare lab scientists, and so on and so forth. So that's another specialty that you can start thinking and positioning yourself for. Number three, obviously we have the telehealth, telenurse, telemidwife, telepsychiatric nurse, gynecologist, doctors. We have them in all different specialty, even what's it called again, physiotherapist, right? So this is another specialty that is allotting people to be seen and consulted for or with virtually. So you can usually just see a patient virtually and see how they're faring. Another specialty we have is the governance officer. Yes, the governance officer. These people would sit in the place where they help to ensure that the regulatory framework that needs to be put in place to make sure that the technology we are absorbing is safe and secured. They are the ones that will sit within that cadre and ensure that this come to life. So that's an area you want to think about. Another area you could also think about is clinical safety officer. Yeah, a clinical safety officer can be a nurse or any other person. You just need to have, whether in your country they call it the EPA, certification, or here in the UK you just need to have the digital clinical safety practice course. You need to do the e-learning and do the practical one online or face-to-face, and as soon as you have that, you can position yourself to become a clinical safety officer. Right, we have other ones like data analyst or data scientist. Yes, nurses are beginning to adopt certification within that segment, which is the data analysis or data science, because they are now seeing the power of data in helping us to prefer a predictive and futuristic solutions within the healthcare system. So as nurses, you are bringing in your health knowledge, you're bringing in your safe and sound knowledge as an healthcare professional, and then adapting the data-driven package or data-driven intellect expertise together to be able to sit in this role. So that's another role you might want to think of, right? There are so many of them. We have the EPR officer. The EPR officer, as we move from the analog to the digital, like for instance, moving from paper record to electronic record, we see every single hospitals, trust, across the globe using the electronic health record, or we have what we call the electronic patient record. So you as a nurse could position yourself to sit within this space as an EPR officer or an EMR officer or EHR officer. Do you see? So we no longer live in that world where we just want to sit down with our BSc certification, our RN certification, or your RM or RPH certification and said, yes, I've arrived. No, you're not. You're just coming in, because the world is moving so rapidly with the integration of AI, the adoption of technologies and all of that. We're seeing self-care management, we're seeing hospital now taken to the home of the people, and that is what is going to be even more and more of it. So these are few specialties that I really want you to sit down and think about. How then can I be able to position myself to be a part and not be left behind, and not work from the place of a low mood, and not feel overwhelmed, not feel burnt out, not feel unfulfilled, as you fulfill your purpose as a nurse within the hospital settings. So I hope this has been helpful, so stay tuned. I've given you all the specialties. What I'm going to share next is how then can now attain any of these specialties. So I might just pick a few of them and share with you things that you need to do, courses that you need to enroll for, and put in the link the places where you can enroll for the courses, the places, the things you can start doing as well. The few little courses, even there's some free courses, especially for people that work within the NHS. There is a lot of courses within the NHS Health Tech Up, if I'm right, where you can get access to free courses that can equip you and empower you to be tech enabled as an healthcare professional, or tech enabler as an healthcare professional. So I hope this has really been helpful. So stay tuned and like, share, comment, and share with me what other things would you like me to talk about, and I'll be more than happy to bring it on for you via my research. I hope you've had a great time with me. I hope you've learned a lot and you're ready to say no to burnt out and no to bedside, because I am made for beyond the bedside.